Okay, hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris MegaCorp. One thing I do want to go ahead and give you all a quick reminder of is that this channel is not a part of the YouTube Partner Program. As a result, the only constant monetization it has is via Patreon, so if you enjoy the content, link in the description to my Patreon if you wish to go ahead and become one. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to all my videos, including the VODs for these streams, and any other streams that I end up doing. When I do live streams, there's also a Streamlabs donation link down in the description, and there will typically be affiliate links down in the description as well. Normally to pick up whatever game it is that I'm streaming or whatever the video is about. But now that that's all out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So, last part we were gearing up for a war with our neighbors, but our neighbors seem to sort of understand that concept, and so they're sort of all getting together in some form or another, which admittedly I'm not a big fan of. But oh well, I can't really stop the AI from deciding to become buddy-buddy with one another. Luckily, the Japanese dwarves aren't friends with anybody that I plan to go to war with in the immediate future, because any immediate war will be against the Syndicate and its hive mind defensive pact ally. Now, the game has since been updated to 2.2.3. I took a quick glance through the patch notes. It doesn't look like it's really changed anything that matters, at least to me. In theory, they changed some stuff regarding performance, or made some tweaks that should improve performance, but we're still fairly early in the game, so we shouldn't be noticing any performance issues in the first place. But yeah, we're just spending our alloys trying to get our second fleet up, since we're going to need a second fleet. That's not strictly true in theory. I could fortify both of these points, and if I fortify them well enough, the hive mind won't be able to do anything. But the reality is it's not the easiest. Mostly because I think it's a little more expensive than building the fleet. Because if our borders move at all, then those stations are now completely worthless. YouTube is, of course, complaining about the stream being bad. I have to call BS on that, but whatever. Steam, or excuse me, not Steam, YouTube. YouTube is complaining about the stream being bad. It always does that. It's honestly annoying. Hopefully it corrects itself after a while. Let's see, the devs did say that they gave the... Okay, we still don't actually have it. There we go, yep, they gave it its own little icon. It's about the only real significant change. Okay, now it is looking bad. What the hell's with all the skipped frames? You had no problems before. Or, well, I say before, when I streamed last week. So, why are you skipping so many frames now? Ah, I know what the problem is. I forgot to change my monitor resolution. Give me one moment. That would be the problem with all the skipped frames, is I forgot to adjust my monitor resolution down to 1920 by 1080 from 2560 by 1440, because my GPU is only capable of handling hardware accelerated video rendering at, I think, 1900 by, or excuse me, 1920 by 1200 or something like that. So basically 1920 by 1080. Forgot to do that. Now we gotta wait for this to load, which will take a little while. It's gonna take forever. Don't really have anything to say while we wait for this to take forever. Go. Now let's reload that save. And now we shouldn't have any problems with skipped frames. Yes, that issue should go away. Gotta wait a little while. Oh, here we go. Birth of the galactic market. De facto galactic trade, unbound by the performance of international diplomacy, has existed since we first discovered that we are not alone in the universe. As new borders are discovered and old ones redrawn across the galaxy, galactic leaders agree that it is time to legitimize this commercial form so that all may benefit. In the coming years, independent traders and government agencies will be looking to establish a quasi-centralized hub for galactic commerce. We would surely benefit from were this hub to fall within Soviet space, so we can choose to promote one of our worlds for this purpose. Wonderful. I don't actually know how long you have until after that event fires to do this, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, Earth is going to be our best bet. Let's go ahead and nominate it. And it is listed with a strong rating right now, but then again, we did it like literally as the event popped up, so let's give it a little bit. That could change after a couple of months when the AI finally decides to do it. Of course, it is also assuming the AI even nominates worlds. I actually don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. Yeah, we're still in a strong position, and a month has ticked by. Maybe the AI doesn't actually nominate worlds. Like I said, I would not be surprised. We're getting a lot of stuff regarding gray goo. I don't recall ever getting nearly this many events when I've played saves with distant worlds, which added in the L cluster up here. So after detailed analysis, Officer Agren Gulev has discovered the strange metallic substance coating the surface of, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of that planet, in fact comprises of billions upon billions of nanites. These nanites are microscopic, self-replicating micro-machines, perhaps created by a past civilization for some unknown purpose. The volume and density of this nanite sludge is remarkable, adding billions of tons of mass to the underlying planet. It would appear these tiny self-replicators entered a state of runaway reproduction at some point in the past, engulfing the planet and everything on it. In studying the nanites, the crew has made some exciting new findings that will undoubtedly aid us in our own research. We get some more... Ooh, wonderful. We got assembly patterns for free. So I won't complain about that. And we're about halfway to having all the L cluster insights we need.
Anomalous readings detected.
80 days, yeah, go ahead and check it out. Let's see, what can I do? Let's see, Earth is almost at its cap. And we are not going to be able to build any more districts beyond this next one. And we need more amenities. Which could mean yet another commercial zone. I don't really want to build another commercial zone, though. What do I want to build here? Because I'm going to need somebody for a job. We're going to need more housing, so screw it. We'll build another housing district. There we go. Now YouTube says the stream is good. We are technically losing some consumer goods, but it's not a whole lot. Okay, wonderful. Some more exotic gases, although it's way out there, so we're not going to be going to it anytime soon. So we're sort of in a situation, if I want to get the trade from some of these regions or systems, I would need to upgrade this. It's sort of one of the better positions, really. But to do that, I sort of lose out on a lot of the defenses it would provide, though admittedly it'd be more so. Honestly, it's probably not even going to really defend that system from any decent AI fleet. So I might be fine without it, to be completely honest. Oh, I really want the better... Do I need better reactors, I guess, is a good question. Not right now. But this will always be here. So I can always go and get the null void beam whenever there's nothing up here that I care for. And right now I kind of care for getting the better reactors. Just so I have them.
Construction finalized.
The game's basically telling me I need to build a station here for specifically defensive purposes. So, let's see. I want to say Procyon is actually a better place to build it with upgrades. It would still reach these other two locations, but it would also help to cover anything coming from down here. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and upgrade Procyon. It also covers one of the two approaches to our capital. Gigantic skeleton, yep, sure, whatever. Go ahead and take care of that. It's not going to give us anything particularly important, but it's something nonetheless. You are almost at 5, so I'll be able to build something here. I think I will actually give you a consumer goods, so that you at least produce some of what you're using. And where's the fleet? Okay, because I had to use some of the resources to upgrade Procyon's station, you guys might need to wait just a little bit once you get to Sol, but it just depends on how long it takes you to get there. Precursor discovery within our borders, but it's way up there with no science ships anywhere near it, so we'll just leave it for now.
Anomalous readings detected.
Sure, go ahead and check it out. 120 days isn't particularly long. Oh no, you guys will have the alloys necessary to get the upgrade because of just how slow you all are, because we're still running around with crappy tier 1 engines, both hyperdrive and impulse. Are we researching anything better? Yeah, we are researching ion thrusters. Okay. Let's see. I am thinking of upgrading that once I can get those resources, and at least it would provide some defense in the south. Aha, I can see your fleet. 1.5. I want to assume that's your only fleet right now. And yeah, technically speaking, about 2.6, 2.7 is still within the arbitrary range that the game uses.
Special inquiry concluded.
It's only really arbitrary because I don't understand what it's supposed to be exactly. But where are you going?
Readings detected.
Why are you entering orbit of this station? It's not your home station, so you're going there to repair, clearly. You got into a fight somewhere over here. I'm assuming down here. Because otherwise you could have just gone up through here. Repair automated shipyard. Yes, that will require a construction ship though, which luckily I have one. It's going to take them forever to get down there, but oh well. You need somebody to do a job. Let's see, we're running low on housing. Let's build another city district. You get some housing and another clerk job, which will give you a little bit more amenities as well. Generally speaking, I'm not going to read old events. So I don't think I've seen this one before, but I'm pretty sure it's an old event, but because I don't recall seeing it before. Despite the seemingly frozen surface of, I'm not going to try and pronounce that, the planet's orbital path around, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name of the system either, leaves it blistering at several hundred degrees. Or blistering at several hundred degrees. Under normal circumstances, this would sublimate the ice on its surface. However, extreme gravitational pressure exerted by the planet's ultra-dense core keeps the water in a solid state, resulting in a planet of fiery hot ice. That sounds like a wonderful place to live.
Ships upgraded.
I'm not a big fan of you rounding down over here, or well, rounding to 1.6k over here as well, with me not having any way of knowing what the actual military power is. It's fine over here. Okay, 1609 and 1088. And now we actually have to go into here and give you the upgraded lasers now. An extra 600 for that. Right. How much would that cost? We're looking around in the neighborhood of probably about 5k. That's a little too expensive for me. We'll get around to upgrading those eventually, but it'll be a little while.
Construction complete.
Wonderful. Now, give you gun and missile batteries. That's actually all you need. Two of those will give you the range you need to cover Alpha Centauri and over here, which are the only two routes I need you to cover right now. So I know roughly what your fleet strength is. 1.5, 1.6. I have no idea for you guys, but the game says equivalent, so again, I'm probably looking at around another 1.5, 1.6. Well, they do, in theory, have an inferior economy to me, so maybe it's not that. Or at the very least, you're not able to quickly rebuild the fleet. So in theory, maybe if I destroy it, I won't really need to keep as much of a fleet stationed up here, if at all. Especially if I fortify any of these. I believe you can build defensive outposts on occupied stations. Normally there's no reason to, but there might be in the case of this war. If possible, I would prefer to break up the defensive pack these two have, though. It would just make life a whole hell of a lot easier. Because then I only have to deal with one of them anyway.
Anomalous readings detected.
That's a long ways out. Okay, that's... Oof, you had me a little scared there. I saw a 4K fleet and was confused to how the hell they suddenly jumped up to 4K. Wonderful, better thrusters. Now, I don't think we... Oh no, we do have one space version of the resource to exploit. Oh, 2, 3. Okay, wow, I actually got quite a few volatile motes. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that. Okay, now we gotta add the better engines. I'm thinking maybe don't upgrade the lasers right now, just sheer costs make it impractical. So let's sort of do a minor upgrade, get better thrusters.
System resources analyzed.
Then we'll look into getting the better weapons on them slowly. What can you offer us? A skill 3 scientist in exchange for 200 food. I mean, technically this skill 3 scientist might be better than the guy we have in engineering, although he has the benefit of his expertise is in the same thing he's researching right now. Not interested, move along. It's 200 food, it's not really a whole lot. I could have done it, and if it wasn't really a worthwhile deal, then oh well. But, nah. I just don't think they would have given us anything worthwhile anyway.
Construction complete.
There we
System
go.
resources analyzed.
That's gonna help to deal with the trade issue here. Well, the piracy, rather. So these only have +5, but you should get a +10 anyway, which, with the base protection, will cancel out the max piracy, and we will be safe for a little while.
System resources analyzed.
Well, let's go ahead and queue up the upgrade for the Zensk fleet, because eventually it'll get its upgrade. I do believe I mentioned previously that I was gonna get rid of the agricultural districts on Earth, and I will do that because there's not much of a reason to when I have Napasno. That will do a good job of producing more than enough food for our needs. If I get rid of them right now, I'm gonna have some issues. Well, not really. I would survive, but I'm gonna eventually run into unemployment as a result of this. But I am thinking of maybe building another research lab here on Earth, because I don't really have anything else worth building. I mean, I guess holo theaters, but honestly, amenities is a problem, right? Damn caravaner stole some energy credits from us. Okay, let's see. Earth needs some more amenities, but it'll get some of those just as a result of clerks, which the destroyed agricultural districts could be turned into city districts, but I don't think I'll do that. Not much of a reason to. Holo theaters would give me a little bit extra amenities. 2 entertainer jobs. And do they actually give 20 amenities per? It's actually a lot. A lot more than I expected. I've honestly never really read it. Let's see. We're not too far off, though, from another building. So, yeah, we're going to go with a research lab, and I'm going to tear down those agricultural districts. Because there's not much reason for them. The agricultural districts aren't needed on Earth anymore. I've already got an agro world. And so it's going to be producing a lot more than Earth ever will. Now, I would love to upgrade you to a starhold and give you some more defensive buildings.
Anomalous readings detected.
Because that should help to ensure that you can survive against any attacks from these guys. Their fleet was home base is their capital. Ooh, just not expecting a war declaration. Let's see, so the Paxar Trade Association has declared war on the Confederation next to them. You have an inferior fleet to me, you have an equivalent fleet to me, okay. In theory, the Trade Association should win. The reality is they may not, or they may not take anything at least. It just depends on how the game decides to handle this, because the reality is these guys are probably fairly evenly matched. Mostly just because it's the AI, and the AI is not the greatest when it comes to fleet management. And naval capacity, yes, okay. Just need to make sure I was calling it correctly, naval capacity over fleet capacity. So yeah, let's go and get some extra naval capacity. That'll help us deal with the maintenance costs. Which should only be on... Oh, okay, it's energy credits and alloys. So yeah, we're losing out on about 60% of our alloy production effectively as a result of it being used just as extra maintenance. It's going to kick up to fast, because we're still sort of in that point where there's not a whole lot of interesting stuff is really going on. Yeah, and we're basically just gearing up for a war that will eventually happen. Maybe next part. Depends on what ends up going on over here. If these guys go to war, which I would love, the Syndicate would actually be open to an attack. And even if I'm not fully prepared for it, I would probably declare the war anyway. Just to try and snag even just a couple of random systems. We will go and build the Betharian power plant next time.
System resources analyzed.
You're listed as overall inferior. Which seems to indicate that your economy is really dragging down the equivalent of the other stuff. Okay, let's demolish that agricultural district. Wonderful. And build Public Works Division. Now what do I want? Are we over our cap? Yes, we are. Is it affecting anything particularly important? I mean, tech costs, but looking at a lot of some of our neighbors at least, they're already inferior to us tech-wise, and that won't really change. I don't really care to go right now for mind over matter. Maybe later we'll have materialist psionics. That'll be an interesting thing. Game really wanted us to have psionics for whatever reason. I'm thinking technological ascendancy just because we need it, but Imperial Prerogative is probably more useful right now if I'm just trying to improve tech research. So yeah, let's go for Imperial Prerogative. That'll bring it down from 20 to 11. Six months for the better reactors, and then I'll probably research the null void beam depending upon what the game decides to have us, or decides to give us as options.
System resources analyzed.
Yep, go ahead and check that out. I am interested in going and building some more ships. What are you building now? Destroyers. Surprised you're not building that last Corvette. Because you'd like to build from the bottom up normally. Despite the fact that I don't care for building bottom up for my fleets. I did want to upgrade you, didn't I? Yes, I did. Ooh, wow. Destroying that one thing really hurt our food, apparently. A lot more than I expected. We're down to only 3. Although then again, we are selling some. We can go ahead and pull some of that back, I guess. Let's see. Detailed analysis of the enormous metallic crystals dominating Ejuk 3's landscape have defied all expectations. Science Officer Agran Gulev is excited to reveal that these oversized crystals are in fact composed of trillions upon trillions of deactivated nanites. Their molecular structure matches no known empire's nanotechnology signatures, making their point of origin indeterminable. They may have been deposited on the planet by some unknown spacefarers for an unknown purpose. As far as Agran Gulev can tell, the nanites compiled themselves into perfectly oriented crystal lattices and replicated until a point at which they became deactivated. While the crystals they created do in fact resemble buildings, they are entirely uniform in composition and cannot possibly have served any such purpose. More Elgate insight. Aha. Okay. Game gave us some raiders, which aren't terrible. Let's see, how do they compare to our Corvettes? They are slightly better than our Corvettes. And by slightly, I mean it's about 20 fleet power, which is actually probably noticeable. If I were to have 3 of any of my Corvettes go up against these raiders, my Corvettes would probably lose. Although admittedly the main thing you have going for you is better sensors and warp drive, or hyperdrive rather. And technically the lasers, I have those lasers, they're just too expensive to fit onto my ships right now. But I do have something you can do. You can head up here and watch the border. Go. Do I care for any of those right now? The answer to that is not really. Let's go ahead and get our null void beam.
Construction finalized.
Okay, now how expensive is a Corvette? 131, 132 depending on the model. Again, for whatever reason you're not wanting to build that last Corvette. I don't know why. You really, right now, are intent on doing the whole... Yeah, I'll pay for that. Destroyers first now. Which is just surprising, because you don't normally do that, game. How expensive are these to sell right now? It's actually worth quite a bit. I could sell them because they have literally no use right now. Let's go and get the research grant. Expensive as a destroyer to build. 226. Ooh, new people we met. Where are you? Aha. Okay, spiritual seekers, that means we're not going to get along. We will not be held back. How are you guys doing? Inferior tech. Why? What is with all the inferior techs? Is it just because we have psionic theory as a result of the game giving it to us, and maybe that's actually weighted quite heavily? I don't know. Or is it purely number of techs. Again, I don't know what the game uses to determine this. It might actually just be wonderful. And the galactic market has been established outside of our empire. The game decided we're going to go and build our galactic market station in a system that the empire is currently in a war with. Okay, I mean, I understand technically speaking they don't affect anything, but yeah, it's way down there. We're not going to get that potentially ever, depending upon how long the series ends up actually lasting. So yep, the Confederation down there in the south has gotten the galactic market station, sadly. I'm pretty sure Earth was still a strong contender, so I'm somewhat annoyed by that. And those guys are having crime problems, because of course they are. The AI, it always overbuilds for crime problems, and if it still manages to get a crime problem, it never manages to fix it. Oh yes, and you're supposed to get a naval logistics office. Ooh. Enigmatic observers. Aha. Greetings, humans. We understand that your empire has come into possession of a cache of data containing the brain scans of an extinct species, taken from the very world they once inhabited. Even though your species is still too primitive to utilize this data, we laud your efforts in preserving this last remnant of a once vibrant civilization. As part of our efforts to conserve and catalog endangered species and our endangered species preserve, we wish to take this data and use our cloning technologies to bring a small number of their species back to life. Will you share it with us so we can fulfill their last wish together? How do you know that was their last wish? But sure, we'll make a copy for you. And now you open your borders to me. Because I accepted your request. Yep, go ahead and check that out. It won't take very long. No void beam, wonderful. And I really want that FTL inhibitor. Here we go. Now we can build null void beams. I'm surprised you're not recommending that. Because it really is worse, isn't it? Okay then, I think I know how we're going to do this game. Put null void beams on the medium slots. Well, does it have to be medium? Technically no, it would work in small. Because they actually have quite a bit of range, more so than small lasers. It's equal to a medium laser. And slightly better than a small coil gun. So yeah, okay, we'll place null void beams instead on small slots. They'll only give you one. And you'll only have one. There we go. That'll allow you guys to very quickly punch through people's shields. Because those things have ridiculous shield damage. Your issue comes that, yeah, it sucks against hull and armor. Let's see, we met some more marauders. No, those are the Shield of the Void. But I don't think those are the ones that scream at you.
Anomalous readings detected.
That'll take far too long. Ooh, one of you are unemployed. Let's go ahead and build a agricultural district, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe something's better to build here. Technically, a stronghold has its uses, more so to get the naval cap from a soldier job, more than anything else. But no, we'll go with the agricultural district. Got some free energy credits. Okay, Syndicate has inferior tech. You guys have equivalent tech. Let's go ahead and sell some more of our excess food. And we'll buy some alloys. And we'll upgrade the Orska fleet.
Construction complete.
I mean, because you guys have a Therian power plant, I'm probably slightly better off doing a lot of generator districts just to maximize the efficiency of an energy grid that'll inevitably get built here. We are sitting at our caps. Let's sell some of our minerals.
Construction complete.
Because there's no reason to sit at our cap. Let's use some of that money we made to go and buy some more alloys, to then proceed to upgrade the Zensk fleet as well. Which is actually still technically missing a little bit, but I think we can wait it out. And let's go and rename that to Raider Fleet. Okay, after years of study, some scientists on Gralsk are beginning to feel they understand the null void. There are currents, forces, some flow which gently pushes against the portal to Gralsk, bringing the traces of dark matter we are able to collect. In theory, it should be possible to make our portal more visible to this force, which should result in a larger harvest. Intriguing. That would take way too fucking long. That's not happening, game.
Research has progressed.
Have much more important things to research. Exotic gases has its uses.
Ships upgraded.
More so because exotic gases are used to have better better research labs is the main one I care about.
System resources analyzed. Anomalous readings detected.
Okay, that fleet's getting upgraded.
Transmission incoming. Discourse anticipated.
Who are you guys? 'Cause I don't recall meeting you. I'll be honest. Oh, here you go. I did meet you guys. I just don't recall because you haven't really done anything in ages. You want a non-aggression pact. Why? I'm assuming because you're trying to build a federation. Because yes, once you include these erudite explorers, you end up with almost a federation. You have two federation builders. And you guys, I guess, are thinking maybe I'll join. Although it might also just be because you have an inferior fleet to me. That definitely would contribute, I imagine. The reality is I don't care to get one with you. You're too far away for me to be a threat. And if you're trying to form a federation, I don't care to join it.
Ships upgraded.
Ooh, a ship graveyard here. Can't ever use the world, but some extra alloys. Let's go and build another agricultural district. On Napasno, I'm going to give you a generator district. How expensive are things? 136, 234. I think the cost actually of the destroyer might have gone down slightly. Now how much would that cost? 105. Let's go and get that. We're gonna have to do these upgrades sort of slowly, so let's go and get the corvettes. Wonderful.
Construction finalized.
Let's go ahead and get the second fleet with better...
Anomalous readings detected.
Okay, who's unemployed? It is an actual person. Okay, then. It's partly because I forgot to go and build something new here. Let's go for generator district. Oh, you guys don't get the null void beam. That sucks.
Construction finalized. Ships upgraded.
Kind of wish you did get the null void beam, I'll be honest. Okay, wonderful. You guys can see out. Okay, you guys can almost... Okay, I can't technically build listening posts now. So how strong is that? 646, which means it's not really that good. Ooh, but you do have railguns and tier 3 missiles. I think I'm still running around with crappy tier 1 missiles, because I don't think the game's giving me the option at all, ever, to research tier 2 missiles. Maybe it has and I just missed it, but I don't think it ever has. Buy some more alloys. Get you your last destroyer. Well, not your last destroyer, actually. But it's another destroyer, which is useful.
Scientific progress attained.
Wonderful FTL inhibitors. Let's go for physics from researchers. But let's go ahead and crack open the alien box. It's only 14 months. And it'll do something presumably useful.
System resources analyzed.
Yeah, you would need to be upgraded to at least a starhold, I think, to get more useful.
Construction finalized.
Let's go and sell more food. You guys need a job opening. Okay, you guys have some space at least. You don't, and again, I want to get rid of that agricultural district, because I don't really care for it. Could go with more researchers, which doesn't hurt. Research is always useful. Commercial zones, though, would give me extra trade value, which is also fairly useful. And it would also give me more amenities, which we could use more of. But I've also got a lot of mineral income. And I could stand to get more alloys. Let's go for another alloy foundry. That gives 2 jobs. Let's go ahead and demolish one of those. Don't worry, I know you guys are unemployed for a little while. But don't worry, it's not a big deal right now. We are actually going to probably want to halt robot production after this robot. That should replace the last miner, and those are the only... farming and mining are the only jobs our robots can do, because they're robots, not droids. Although once we get this naval cap up, it'll also help. Temporary physics or a leader, which I think is a scientist always, and I think they give you a tech, or they can at least. This is an old event, so I'm not rereading it, but yeah, let's go for a leader. I may not use you, but yeah, pretty sure you have a chance to give a tech. It's a, I think, a randomly selected tech. I'm gonna put you there, though. Although it may not be necessary. I don't know if you have to be slotted or not, or if you can be on a ship or something. I don't know. I don't get that event that often.
Our research has progressed.
Wonderful. And let's get the colonial centralization. And with the naval cap back up, we should be getting more alloys. Go up to 20. We are technically losing food right now. That's probably because we don't actually have all the farmer jobs filled right now in the past now. So we'll stop selling some of our food just so we're not losing it. But we have quite a stockpile, so it doesn't really hurt us right now.
Construction complete. Construction finalized.
And this event has changed. Red, if I recall, used to give strong if you didn't have it, and I think it was very strong if you had strong. I don't recall off the top of my head what it is now. Oh boy, yeah, I don't recall what it is now. Don't think that's it. I'm trying to see what it is, because I don't recall. I think red now gives communal or something like that. Here we go, that one should help me. Okay, yeah, green is habitability, red is housing needs decrease, and blue is army damage and leader lifespan. Out of those, I'll be honest, I think communal from red is more useful, personally. So that's what we are going to do. So we are now communal, which decreases pop housing usage by 10%, which means I can have more pops on the planet, which is useful because large planets are able to have extra jobs. At 100 you get a merchant job. And so being able to get more planets up to merchant job helps, because merchants are ruler class, but they give quite a bit of trade value, if I recall correctly.
Anomalous readings detected. Anomalous readings detected.
Yep. Go ahead, check it out. Okay, that'll be your last destroyer. Then you gotta get your last corvette. And then you're gonna be full, which means I'm gonna have two 1.9K fleets. Which should be enough for anything either of these guys can really throw at us.
System resources analyzed.
I wish I had better sensors, but there's also an issue of a nebula here. So terraforming candidate discovered. It's one of potentially dozens we might find, or other people might find even. Now, technically I have no use for volatile modes, so how well do they sell? They sell reasonably well. Let's go ahead and sell
Construction finalized.
2. About half of our production. There we go, that's extra alloys. Let's go and get you your last corvette. Now, the AI, I think, generally speaking, basically just says go here and takes the shortest route.
System resources
So,
analyzed.
I probably don't really have to build any fortifications up here on the northern border with the Syndicate,
Construction finalized.
because they probably won't even go up there.
System resources analyzed.
You guys are again.
Anomalous readings detected.
Ah, yeah, 108 days, that's okay. Let's get a mining district. You guys can have a commercial zone because you don't have one yet. We are sitting at our cap for influence. Let's deal with that. Edicts. Let's go for a capacity overload. Because then I can just buy alloys. Now, I wish you had just slightly more range so you could see into their capital.
Our research has progressed.
Ooh, game saying, hey, how about you get cruisers? It's 105 months, but knowing my luck, if I don't research it now, it'll take forever. The rest of these techs I can sort of live without, at least when it comes to the immediate future. So, yeah, let's go ahead and learn how to, well, start learning how to build cruisers. It'll take forever to research, but hey, we get the first ones to be able to build cruisers. And if we can actually manage to afford any, it'll be helpful.
Construction complete.
There we go.
Construction finalized.
Now we can get exotic gases. which, like I mentioned before, are useful because the upgraded version of the research lab requires them for the initial building and as upkeep. Surprising life readings from Embecia 5 have been attributed to a small organism of exceeding tenacity. The crew is unsure how to classify the life form, but its ability to survive seemingly without any sustenance is truly astonishing. Considering the planet's age, it is not impossible that the organism has been fighting its habitat's toxicity for millennia, though this is an educated guess at best. Has requested permission to retrieve samples of the unknown organism so that it may be studied. Yes, let's study it. 37 months. Are we researching anything important? Technically, planetary capital could be. I don't recall what you need to be able to upgrade to it, but I'm assuming we're past it. So we'll hold off on that research. I think we can wait. Ah, okay, impossible. Okay, I know what this event, impossible organism event is. That one will get us the ability to have some friends. And they will be friendly to us. But we'll hold off on getting that tech for right now. Or not tech, but that special project completed. More primitives. These guys are in the steam age and are having housing problems in the steam age. Let me go ahead and check something real quick. Okay, we do have 2 responses. Another person that wants a governor. Well, I don't need governors right now. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to need governors for a little while, but somebody else has already requested a governor. So we'll get one eventually. Quick reminder, as a result of mentioning that, if you want to have a leader named after you, that means governors, scientists, admirals, or generals, link in the description to a Google form to fill out. It'll ask you if you're a patron is the first question. If you say yes, it'll then proceed to ask you for your name. If you say no, then it'll immediately take you to selecting what leader role you want, preferred gender, and then a name. And because 2.2 did away with the leader cap, if you want to actually have a general, that is not a wasted role. If this series is being done prior to 2.2, I would have probably not even included general, because prior to 2.2 I never used them. But now after 2.2, since the only real limiting factor is my ability to have energy credits, there's not much reason not to use a general for me beyond just the maintenance cost, and honestly it's not that significant to me. Especially in the late game, it basically reaches a point where it's practically just a rounding error, because that's just how insignificant it ends up being. So yeah, like I said, link in the description to that Google form if you want to have a leader named after you. Oh, okay. Ah, yes. Okay, yeah. You, whoever it is working in the roboticist, stop. Because as soon as I destroy these farms, these robots are going to be, should be automatically taking the spot of these humans who then now need a job. We'll figure out what they're going to do eventually. I could just ship them off world for the time being. Well, I guess it's not strictly true. I could just build... yeah, I'll just build another mine.
Construction complete.
Aha, they ended their war with very little changing. The Trade Association got a planet and some systems. Yeah, it really wasn't a whole lot. That's the way the AI wages war. It doesn't take much. In your case, though, I kind of forgot about the whole claiming your stuff. Let's do that. I want your capital. It's expensive, but I want it. Just because it's your capital, really. I will be honest with you about that. That's the only reason I want it. And as a result of that, the Confederation and the Mercantile Union, who both border the Trade Association, have proceeded to go ahead and form a defensive pact. It's understandable that they did that, though. And the Mercantile Union and Trade Association have proceeded to break their commercial pact as a result. I will admit that I think we are sort of at that point where there's not much else we can do if we're going to go to war. There's not a whole lot more building up we can really do. Oh, shit, I didn't realize we had tier 3 sensors. Wow, okay, yeah, if I wanted to see up into these guys' capital, I just got to send one of my fleets up there. Let's go ahead, we'll get a new admiral. Sure. Kadrosla can be the admiral of the Zensk fleet. I want you to go up to... egalitarian faction formed. Oh, that'll be fun to deal with. Yeah, let's go and send the Zensk fleet up to the Mdirian Unity border. Let's go with stop the rampage, which means I need a construction ship down there, which means that's gonna take forever. Will you even get there in time? It'll take 1,491 days. That has 10,000 days. You cannot get down there in time. So we can forget that event. I should have just scrapped it for minerals, because then I don't need to worry. But I want to see... Did you guys just get raided? I think the Mdirian Union just got raided by these marauders. I know a good raiding target. These guys, how much would it cost? 3,000. I can afford that. And I can afford to wait a little bit for you guys to maybe possibly get down here. It depends on if you decide to get stuck. I've had it before, though normally they only get stuck when they're in their borders, so yeah. I don't think they normally get stuck until they hit the raiding target. Then they have a chance to get stuck sometimes. I've seen it once before, but only once, because that one time I saw it, it happened to me. They were sent to raid against me. Beyond that, I don't know. So yeah, here's 3,000 energy credits. Go ahead, please come down here to the Syndicate, raid them. And then I will probably be declaring the war. Here's hoping. that it works out. Let's get the research complexes. So, when it comes to going to war with the Syndicate, as a result of the fact this is particularly an early game war, a lot earlier than I normally do, I don't typically declare war within the first 100 years, with some exceptions, but generally I don't do it. As a result of this, I'm probably going to want to occupy the entirety of their space and make sure I destroy their fleet before I actually start trying to take over their worlds. Because as it stands right now, it would take forever to bombard their worlds. So yes, we might not be declaring the war this part. If we do it, it'll probably be like right at the very end. But definitely next part we should be in the war, either early on or already in it. But we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. I mean, I could also potentially just try and lure the Syndicate into attacking me first and then go into their systems. Let's upgrade that starport. Also, let's upgrade the lasers on our destroyers. We sort of forgot about that. Do I want you guys to turn around for it? Not really. You guys will be fine without it. Okay. I am inclined to go for supremacy right now. For the simple fact that we're going to be going to war soon, and I would kind of prefer it. These other choices don't matter nearly as much, but supremacy has things that will definitely be useful for us to go to war with. So let's go ahead and begin supremacy. I will set you guys to indiscriminate. And actually, let's go and upgrade that as well.
System resources analyzed. Ships upgraded.
There we go, that gets us to 2K. There's the raiding fleet, 7K raiding fleet, moving to Tensor. Ah, okay, right here. Are you going to come in from the north and hit multiple places, or are you going to go all the way through me and take the route that results in you doing basically nothing? Because I would prefer if you come in from the north, because it will give the Syndicate more time to hopefully move their fleet into position to stupidly try and resist you. Because the AI probably would try and resist a 7K fleet when it only has like a 1.5, 1.6K. But here we go. We can see in... I can't see into your capital. Why can't I see into your capital? You have sensor range of 3. Okay, let me see if I'm understanding this correctly. Sensor range 1 is in the system you're in only. I hate that they do it that way. I'd prefer if they started at 0, to be honest. I'd prefer if that was number of hyperlanes. Okay, so when I had the raiding fleet here, their sensor range is 2, which should then mean only 1 hyper lane out. So why am I able to see out here when they were the only ones here? It doesn't make any sense. I can understand now with the Zensk fleet there, with its tier 3 sensors with sensor range 3, which really just means 2 hyper jumps. Again, I would prefer if they started at 0. I just think it would work a whole hell of a lot better. But okay, clearly I'm remembering incorrectly, so I'm going to go ahead and screw it. You guys go back home. It won't take you very long. Raiding fleet, you're not useful. I'll be honest. Let's disband you. It'll give me some extra energy credits and alloys back. And sadly, you guys are coming down, and you're going to come into the spot that will result in you doing very little. No, it's a shame. It really is. Because it means you're not going to be as useful as I had hoped. I mean, maybe you'll do something. Maybe the AI will still be able to try and fight you. It is the AI. It would do stupid shit like that.
Construction complete.
What did I build here? Communications jammer.
Construction complete.
What do I want to build here? Sure, we'll build a monument.
Together we will build a brighter future.
Wonderful. Gene crops. All the farming positions are filled here, so yeah. Let's go ahead and get that. That should result in an extra job. Yes, at an administrator and enforcer level, so this guy that's currently unemployed because the roboticist has been shut down because I don't need him making more robots that can't do anything. Yes, extend the deal.
Scientific progress attained.
He will have something he can do. Let's get hyperdrive 2. This will get me more research jobs and more points as well. Actually, quite a bit. And the upkeep is one whole exotic gas. I'm not a fan of it being one whole exotic gas, I'll be honest. But there's nothing I can do to decrease that beyond text that might do it. But we'll hold off because we're going to get more jobs here. I don't need to take all of the
Construction finalized.
clerks suddenly jumping up to specialist. We can
Resources.
wait a little bit on that stuff.
Foreign workers have unionized.
Star access has been formed.
Discourse anticipated.
Okay, well, how does that benefit me? I would get 10 energy while you get 14. Is 10 worth it? It's a fairly minor amount. I'm gonna have to say no. Now, research agreement I'll agree to.
Ships upgraded.
Wonderful. Because that might actually help me. You are not interested because you are unfriendly towards me. I don't know why. I'll open my borders because you're way the hell down there. There's no reason for me to really have them closed.
System resources analyzed.
I don't know why you are so happy with me, though. Mutual rivals. Ah, yes, the syndicate. That's why. What do you want? You want a human pop. I gave you guys the brain scans. You can piss off, though, beyond that. Okay. Well, I think we're basically as ready as we'll ever be to potentially... Oh, yes, 2.3. Holy... Okay, I would need both fleets here, in theory. Ooh. Those guys are idiots. These guys are automatic patrolling between, I presume, their capital and Tensure. In Tensure right now should be the raiding fleet. I can't see it because it's inside the nebula, but it should be in there. So that 2.3k fleet is about to jump in, should be about to jump into a system that has a 7k raiding or marauder fleet. We shall see if this 2.3k fleet gets out. If they do, I'm gonna be pissed. If they don't, I'm gonna be fucking happy. Because that's basically the Syndicate's fleet. And that actually is technically slightly more powerful than mine. Well, any single fleet of mine. Okay, there's the 101. Don't know what's going on with them. But I'm not seeing that 2.3. Okay, Marauders withdraw.
Construction finalized.
Yes! Oh, yes. Wonderful. Oh, the Syndicate is down to inferior, or excuse me, pathetic fleet power. We are ready to go to war, and we have about 30 minutes of warfare that we'll be doing this part, and the rest of it will be done next part. Before we go to war, though, let's go ahead and claim a couple of extra systems. Yeah, just a couple of things here and there. Because we're approaching the cap now for influence, so we might as well use a little bit of it. Grab a couple of nice free systems. Well, relatively speaking, free. What else do I want to grab? You know what? 216 influence. I'm fine with spending that for now. It will take 2 wars with you, because this is still early, and this war is going to immediately piss off all of my neighbors. But because your economy is inferior, it should take you a while to rebuild. And so long as none of these marauders are offering mercenaries. You guys, I could in theory send you as well, but there's no point at this point, at least. And the governor just got arrested development. Which means they're going to be stuck at level 5. That sucks. Oh, well, at least the game auto gave me 500 minerals because we didn't manage to scrap the rampaging drone. Now, so long as nobody else decides to be buddy-buddy with either of you guys right before I declare the war, we are ready to crush you. I think I'm going to beeline for your capital. If I'm going to be completely honest. You know what? Let's go ahead and just save, just for the hell of it. Stability reasons, whatnot. Now, I have no reason to declare war on you guys. Beyond humiliate, which is not a worthwhile casus belli to use on you. I'm going to use conquer on you. Do I want to go ahead and declare the war now or wait for the second fleet to be... No, we're going to go and declare the war right now. Because if I wait for the second fleet to get into position to deal with the unity up to our north, the Syndicate will be able to rebuild at least a portion of its fleet. I want to avoid them being able to rebuild as much of their fleet as physically possible. So, let's do this now. Declare the war. Conquest. Anybody want to join? You would join. Well, so you claim. You're not useful. You're not going to get anything from this, but in theory, it's a couple of extra ships to throw around. So screw it. We'll invite, not invoit. We'll invite the Japanese dwarves to join if they feel so inclined. If they say no, okay, it failed because they wouldn't gain anything. So the game's lying to me when it says that they would be willing to join, because they're not. So
We have declared war. We have a galaxy to win. Construction complete.
So you quickly beeline for their capital. Somebody got Federation Association status. Who was it actually? I wasn't paying attention. Ah, the Mercantile Union, yes. That's fine. So we're going to go ahead and beeline for their capital. That should be their primary, if not maybe only, shipyard. So it's one reason why I want to get it now.
Hostile reactionaries detected.
Wow, only 600. Wow, okay, yeah. Oh, this wouldn't even be able to defend the system. Wow, I'm surprised. Or the game hasn't updated, one of the two. We see their fleet. Okay. Ooh, shit. Okay, clearly, the reality is that I misunderstood this. I am failing to take into account that I have two separate fleets for a combined total of 4K. These guys have a single fleet for 2K. Also, you claim this is inferior. Really? Only half is inferior? Because that's actually kind of beefy. So we're going to fall back with that fleet. With our primary fleet. Because, whoops. I mean, actually our fleet might win that. But I don't want to risk it without support. So we're going to try and draw them towards us. Yeah, again, I'm failing to take into account the fact that I have two separate fleets, while the AI only has a single fleet. Are you gonna still follow me? Maybe, we'll see. I'm taking more losses than I would like. A lot more losses than I would like.
System resources analyzed.
No, you can just interorbit here. That'll get repaired eventually. And let's go ahead and purchase stuff. Sell some minerals because we don't need all of those. Buy some more alloys. To the fool, are you following? No, but you are going to head up to Trila. Kind of annoyed by that, I'll be honest. Okay, game, you said that was 600. How the fuck did it suddenly jump up to a 17?
Transmission incoming. Discourse anticipated.
Thank you. You guys could have chosen to join. But no. You guys have shit shields, apparently. Okay, how much do I have? Okay, I got quite a bit of volatile motes. I am using some kinetic weapons. That'll give us a little bit extra juice. And we can get ourselves a little extra shields. Fuck, I didn't really want you guys to drag in the fleet. If I keep hitting this outpost, they should want to come back and retake it because the AI does have a priority for
Anomalous readings detected.
taking back its systems, generally speaking at least. As soon as I see them, I'll jump out. Out of curiosity, what is your guys' sensors? Ooh, only one.
Construction complete.
It's actually interesting.
Starbase under assault.
Yeah, that is actually fairly interesting. You guys only have range ones, tier 1 sensors apparently. There's the fleet. Let's jump back. Might actually be able, if I jump back to Ambor, because they have tier 1 sensors, they may not realize that I'm here and choose to press the attack and attempt to take this station. I then have my fleet jump into the system behind them. Well, not behind them, but while they're engaging it.
Scientific progress attained.
Let's get the Research Institute. $120 days. Are you still going to try and press the attack on the other station, or are you going to change your mind? Because I would love it if you changed your mind. No, it doesn't look like you're going to change your mind. That's a shame, actually. I was kind of gunning for you changing your mind.
Construction complete.
Now, do you guys have claims on any of this stuff, or no? I'm gonna say no. You only have animosity, so you wouldn't actually gain anything with a status quo. Okay, I should be able to use both my fleets then, actually, without any real issues. Artisan trope, hello.
Resources analyzed.
I'll just use some of this money we got. Buy alloys, build some defensive platforms around here.
Ships upgraded.
Hey, jump back in there.
System resources analyzed.
Okay, let's pull back.
Anomalous readings detected. Construction finalized. System resources analyzed.
You guys can attack all that stuff if you want. I won't stop you. Okay, drop a research grant.
Hostile reactionaries engaged.
This is gonna hurt. Okay, but they gave up. Rather than pushing.
Together we will build a brighter future.
And now I have cruisers. Wonderful. Let's go and get better missiles. And let's go ahead and design a cruiser. Sure. That's fine with me. Although maybe drop that for a broadside instead. But oh boy, are those expensive. $585, still can't quite afford it. Let's see. Sell 100 of those, or okay, that's not quite enough. There we go. One cruiser should help to turn the tide significantly in our favor.
System resources analyzed.
You guys healing right now or no? Not yet.
System resources analyzed.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be able to take all of that stuff in this one war, definitely. I am actually going to go ahead and claim that system, just so I have that. Okay, so now while their fleet is out of position, let's go ahead and, oh, never mind. You guys should be able to heal at this. I don't know why you're not. Or are you legitimately not? Oh, maybe you're legitimately not able to heal at outposts. I could have sworn you were. Maybe that was changed, and it's just one of those things I overlooked. There's our wonderful little cruiser.
System resources analyzed. Construction finalized. Our research has progressed.
useful. Let's go for... Sure, adaptive bureaucracy. No. No. Screw it. Let's go and take their shipyard.
System resources analyzed.
Okay, they really need to make up their mind. Are they going to come and attack this fleet again or not? Because just a heads up, I got a cruiser on the way. I'm inclined to go for ship build cost game. Because bloody hell is a cruiser expensive. Gonna come and attack again or no?
Scientific progress attained.
Go better missiles. Cruiser build speed and cost. Yep, that'll be useful.
System resources analyzed. Construction complete.
I have no idea where those guys are going. Because I don't see a station with that name. Oh, now I do. Wow, and we can already go straight to Hyperdrive 3. Yes, please.
Enemy fleet eradicated. Anomalous readings detected.
Okay, we weren't quite able to take their capital, sadly. This is one of the reasons I don't typically do early wars. I'm more the person that tends to go with the war that basically just waltz over the enemy. Actually, no, never mind. Yeah, that non-aggression pact is probably a good idea. Because you're going to be pissed at me anyway. Just study its nature.
System resources analyzed. Together we will build a brighter future.
Fleet command limit.
System resources analyzed. Construction complete. Anomalous readings detected. System resources analyzed. Anomalous readings detected.
Yeah. Like I said before, this is why I don't typically do early game wars.
Construction finalized.
They, in my experience, don't typically end up working out as well as I would like.
Anomalous readings detected.
So at this point, we're basically just going to go and shoot for a status quo.
Hostile reactionaries detected. System resources analyzed. System resources analyzed.
Yep, extend that deal. Capacity overload.
Construction complete. System resources analyzed. Construction finalized.
I don't know why I'm getting that stuff, but whatever.
Construction complete.
I might be able to push and be able to take that system, at the very least. Because then I can just heavily fortify it at least. I don't really care to take over the hive minds planets, just because then I get to deal with the whole purging all their pops, which takes for fucking ever. And then waiting for my pops to grow on their worlds. What do you got? Gives more housing. Not really interested, I'll be honest with you.
Construction complete.
Now that will be useful. That should give me a cruiser.
Hostile reactionaries detected.
Okay, and how far? Okay, you guys are pretty slow. And you're actually pretty beat up as well. Let's see if you can get up there and take that real quick.
Construction complete.
And you go and attack there. Oh, and of course now... now the consensus decides to declare war on the Syndicate. If they had done that earlier, it would have been really useful. Oh, did you not end up actually getting a ship for that? No, I didn't. Damn, that sucks. I was actually really hoping for a ship there.
Construction finalized. Hostile reactionaries detected.
Okay, you have nothing, then head to Earth. And just assist research. Oh no, I did get a cruiser. Yes, wonderful. You can go and merge with the Orsk fleet. Okay, that should allow me to get a status quo. If not, I may need to just take this. There we go. We'll take the status quo. We technically won. Sort of by the seam of our pants, really. Was not as good as I had hoped for. But we technically won. We gained some stuff. Now that the consensus is going to war with the Syndicate will be a lot weaker the next time. Because they should definitely lose some systems at least. So yeah, that didn't go quite as well as we had originally hoped for. We'll have to spend more resources on fortifying stuff. You're not really you're not really necessary there. You're not in the best position anymore. But I think I might leave you, just for now. What do you got? I thought I told you to move along, but apparently not. Earth has some farmers that need jobs, apparently. Or, well, no, excuse me. Earth apparently has some humans working in the mines. We don't need that. You would accept a defensive pact, interestingly enough. I do not need to buy as much of this. Okay, well, let's try this again. So I am buying 12 right now. I'm 10 over, or 10 going into the stockpile. We'll just buy 5. And we'll solo less food. And YouTube is complaining about bitrate. Where the hell are you going? Oh yes, you guys are technically at war with these guys. It's supposed to be a cruiser. It's actually not that great. And I will end this in a little bit. Once you get upgraded, that seems like a good stopping point. Or no, once you get upgraded. No to a defensive pact. I don't care for it. It's not actually even necessary, really.
Ships upgraded.
Okay, now you getting your cruiser. Actually, how good are you? You are okay. So the derelict class cruiser we found is 460 military power compared to our own cruiser's 378. Well, that is going to be it for this stream. I'll see you all in the next one, which should be next Friday or Saturday, depending upon how I'm feeling. So yeah, the 25th or February 1st, or excuse me, the 25th or the 26th. I was about to say February 1st, but that's the week after. Yeah, that war definitely could have gone a lot better. Like I said, I don't typically do early game wars. I'm more of mid-game. We're still within the first 100 years. I don't normally do wars at that time. After the first 100 years, I'll definitely go to war. And actually, fairly regularly, a lot of the times it'll be back-to-back if given the opportunity. But yeah, so next time we will be rebuilding from this war, rebuilding our fleets. And that'll be basically it, I think. And potentially even the part after that, depending upon how long it takes for us to rebuild our fleet. But yeah, so I'll see you all in the next part. Reminder, the channel is not a part of the YouTube Partner Program. So if you enjoyed the content on the channel, the only regular way in which the channel is monetized is via my Patreon. So yeah. Link in the description to that if you wish to go ahead and join it. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to all of my videos along with the VODs for any streams that I do, including this series and any other just random streams that I end up doing. So I'll see you all in the next stream, but until then, a goodbye and farewell. Let me make sure I save, otherwise I could potentially forget, which would suck. Granted, we'd only miss a couple months, but still, it would suck. So until next time, goodbye and farewell.